story's called Election. The town seemed to sleep through the entire election process. One night they went to bed, woke the next morning, and apparently had decided a new mayor. The decisions they were forced to make were beginning to annoy them, claw at their natural tendency to sit, doze, lie. Many of the town's residents or eligible voters simply chose the name with the least letters, as it was the popular opinion that those with long names thought they were better than the rest, and that was surely something the town wanted to avoid. When they thought about it, it may have been the only thing they were trying to avoid. A representative, that's what they wanted. They wanted themselves running the town, but without all the stress of being mayor. They believed this firmly, each of them, for about the 5 minutes at the kitchen table the night before the election. They quickly forgot it, or maybe buckled under the pressure of defining themselves, the first step of emulation. The men and women of the town were all slightly tired, probably from the past season when it was either too cold or hot. Few remembered. It was a Wednesday the town woke up to, a Wednesday that brought a new mayor and a small customary speech. At least they thought the speech was customary. What happened last election? We couldn't have not had a speech, right? In a small square in the center of town where people often ate lunch on their midday break, a small stand was constructed out of already rotten wood. A red, white, and blue banner was pulled taut about 10 feet above the stage floor so passersby would know something important was happening. At 6 o'clock, about half the town began taking their seats in the audience, very bored and worried about how long they would need to subject their poor back to a hard wooden folding chair. At 6:15, most of them forgot what they were waiting for. Is this some sort of PTA meeting? I can't take listening to an argument today, it would just kill me. They talked politely to one another, enjoyed the sun, quietly anxious that night would arrive. At 6:30, a thin boy took slow steps onto the stage and shyly approached the podium. He's young, they thought, but I suppose that's what you get making a decision based on a name. It probably wasn't even that short, probably just a Nick last name. Do they have those? Well, if they do, this boy's got one. He's so young. His clothes looked like they were bought to grow into. It was getting late. Some hadn't eaten dinner yet. The sun sat on top of the town shops as the new mayor began to speak. I want to thank you all for coming today. I only need to say a few things and then I'll be out of your hair. Well, not really, I guess, but at least I'll get down from the stage and you can go home. He stopped, looked as if he might suddenly burst into tears or break into hysteria or both. He eyed the crowded park, shot a manic gaze at each of the town's voters. Listen, he said. I need you to listen. He took a slow breath. You don't need to care about this. I surely don't. Not this election. Maybe this moment, yes, but not whatever this stage was meant for. You only need to care about right now and the things I'm about to say. Listen, he said. A few blocks from here, an ugly woman is going down on someone she absolutely hates, and that woman hates her right back. How does that happen? I spoke to her the other day. You don't know her, she doesn't exist, but I do know that she gives because she must, and because her lover will take it. And you know what else? No one cares. No one cares about the gifts given, received, and the black oil that rose between the two. A boy a few blocks farther is lying about his mother because it wouldn't be fair, not the truth it wouldn't. No information, descriptions, facts that pile up behind someone's life are ever fair to the person they are now. This matters. Because he lies, it matters. This town, goddammit, it makes sense when you have time for a coffee and cigarette to sort it out. You and I right now are getting misjudged, thought too highly of, undershot, all different ways of saying that we're the bullseye on a dartboard without the 20 encroaching pie slices, just a small piece of cork floating, nothing to miss against, just space to fly through. I was thinking about leaving today, just skipping this whole thing. It's all because of this goddamn dream last night. I guess I had slept with a woman that was more like a shadow, or some wind-swept piece of black shawl, and she left me a daughter crying in my arms. I just couldn't shut her up. I couldn't make it all right. I could see her life like it was a walnut hanging on a chain around her neck, so small and real, almost too dense to exist, and I wasn't going to help. I couldn't help my baby, just watch as it grew older, hurt harder, love longer. I need to help or make a difference or make a dent in something right now. I tried not to make waves for years, held back and tried not to upset. I'm sorry that you'll be the ones that I've damaged or disturbed, but I've been looking too long for an audience to let it go now. What can I say to you that will make a difference to anything? I want to help something though, either you or something like you, or maybe just the idea of you. So here it is. When you finally collide with something else, it'll only be there for a second, so grab it. I can't stress that enough. Grab it until it needs to go. One day someone is going to stand up right in front of you, and tell you about how hard it is just blocks away, and how hard it is right here in between us, how the hatred between walls is so much like the joy of the open air. I haven't got much to say and too much time to say it in, but I need you to listen because that's the most important part right now. I don't know if I can make you care about anyone, but when you're pressed up against their love or hatred, their passion or apathy, you want them to hold you as well. Don't be repulsed. This will be your finest hour, or whatever the fuck you want right then. Sometimes each minute seems less important than the last, but mostly it isn't. I swear it isn't. Listen to this right now. This is the most important. When you think you have it, you don't really. It's already happened, and it's getting a little late to talk about it. All of this is just a little too serious, too dramatic to talk about. We're all getting a little too old to talk about it, and a little too old to walk back home. We're all just getting a little too old to walk back home tonight, so please just sit here a while and listen as long as you can, even when I'm done, listen. And with that, he sat down. Time seemed to resume. Cars noticeably purred by. Someone in the audience held in a sneeze and immediately wished they hadn't. Suddenly, it really did feel too late to walk back home. He was right. It didn't seem like they were minutes older. It seemed like age was blooming slowly before, and now it had suddenly unbuttoned and left its peels splayed on all sides. They were silent, thinking about the boy and themselves, or maybe buying him a drink, shaking his hand and loving him for a while. In their silence, they were all very glad he was their mayor, and so they sat together just a minute longer in the spring evening.